let's make something with the leftovers in my fridge. That is some of my cream cheese icing, and I'm going to use the juice of the oranges. I'm going to fry off the apples in a little bit of butter and make like a buttery sauce with them. And then I have a banana and I have a few strawberries and raspberries. Let's see what I can make. So I'm going to chop up my apples. And I'm not taking the skin off. I washed the skins of all the fruit really, really well. I'm just chopping them like that. And I'm putting about 30 grams of butter in there. In fact, it's probably, yeah, it's about 30 grams of butter. And I have 3 apples. I'm going to throw those in and let them cook a little. Now I want to use everything, so I'm going to zest the orange before I put the juice into the bowl with the apples. Make sure you wash your skins very well in baking soda and water and give them a scrub, like with a toothbrush or a little brush. I'm going to add my sugar into this now so that the orange will infuse with it. I have 170 grams of icing sugar there. And I'm going to let that sit with the orange rind so that it will make a really nice orangey sugar for me while the apples are cooking. So the apples are cooking away in the butter. I'm just literally going to squeeze this into my apple. Have a look. Which is why I'm using a little less sugar than I normally would in this size Traybake, because I'll have the sweetness of the orange juice. So just the juice of one orange. And this fruit, not wasting this, I'm just going to throw these in. There's not a lot to make a difference, but why waste when we can use them? So if you're adding a lot of moist ingredients to a cake, then you need to up the flour a little so that the cake doesn't become too wet. So here's my orange zest and icing sugar mixed together. Now, butter normally, this is my cream cheese mix from my carrot cake. And I want to use that up, so I'll use it in place of butter. I'm going to measure what's in it, and then I'll add extra butter if necessary. In this we have 140 grams of that mix. So I'm going to add an extra 60 grams of butter. And that'll be like my butter mix for this. And you can see I'm just getting rid of everything. Very satisfying. Clearing all the places of all the things. I have 3 eggs, so that's okay. I have a banana, so the banana will sub in for one of the eggs. Now, it's not that I'm getting you to make this necessarily, it's just I want to show you that it doesn't have to be the end of the world if you don't have certain ingredients. Another one. I don't have self-raising flour open today, so I'm going to use plain flour. And I'm using 200 grams of plain flour. I'm also putting in 50 grams of custard powder. You can add cornflour. Now, let's see how that mix works before I put in the banana and all the apple mix. That's quite a dry mix right now because it only has the 3 eggs. So, banana next. Mashing this like this. Plain flour means baking powder. which I should have put in before I mixed all that together like that, but that's okay. I have 250 grams of plain flour and custard, so I need 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I tend to use about a teaspoon per 100 grams. I'm going to mix that through well, and look, I didn't mix it with the flour and sub in, that's okay. I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out actually. That's nice and orangey. So I'm putting a tablespoon of vanilla in. That mix is very nice. I'm throwing in my berries. Check this out. So that orange juice has cooked off and it has kind of caramelized with the butter. It smells amazing. But I need to put some cream in this to make it sort of a toffee-ish sauce. I have some cream and I'm adding about 100 mils of cream to that. And I'm going to let it boil up. You see? So that's about 100 mils of cream. I'm going to boil that up. There's that creamy apple mix. And I'm just going to put that in on top. So I'm not putting it in to the dough. I'm going to put that dough into my tray now. And in it goes. And this looks like it's going to be small in this, but that's okay. If it was a 5-egg mix normally, it would fit here. So now I'm just going to flatten that out a bit, and then I'm going to top it with my apples, and they are cooking on a high heat, so they're nice and caramelized. I can smell them. I wish you could. It's buttery, caramelly smell. It's lovely. So remember, this is a little tray bake, so it's not meant to be a high cake, and this is only taking a half an hour to cook. There we go. It's not the oranges and lemons cake, it's the oranges and apples cake. And bananas and strawberries and raspberries. That's it, look, there's my apple. And I'm literally going to just toss it across the top and see how that does. Who knows? I promise I'll show you, even if it's a disaster. Into the oven, 160 fan for half an hour. Let's see how we do. So this has been in for about 10 minutes. And I realised I didn't add sugar to the caramel. Not a disaster, so I'm just adding a topping of soft dark brown sugar to this. And that will cook away, but you can already see that that is puffing up nicely. So here is the finished cake. Now it looks cool. I left that in for about 33 or 4 minutes. At 27 minutes, it was still wobbly, but that looks really nice. I have to say, it smells good too. Let's see if it actually worked. So I need to leave that for about 10 minutes before I cut it at all, or it'll be a disaster. Show you in a minute.